Not gonna be that long. Now, in the case of the lie from the truth, okay, we can look at any template or formula as far as when you comes lie from the truth. First, I'm gonna make this statement. There, there would never be a lie if it wasn't for the truth. You see, if there wasn't truth, there wouldn't be a basis for a lie. Because, see, a lie has to derive, or should I say, get its source from the truth. Because if you feel what truth is and you know what truth is, or you're told what truth is, either way, and then that gives birth to a lie. Because if someone wants to manipulate you or deceive you, then they have to lie. Well, how would they lie? How can you say someone lied to you if you don't know what the truth is, or you don't have common sense? So if you know what a lie is, then a lie will not be able to exist without truth. So when you have truth and you have things like religion, things like, and I'll give you an example because, you know, in the Bible, it speaks of three tribes: Japheth, Ham, and Shem. And from those tribes came sub-tribes, each tribe. Japheth, Ham, Shem had sub-tribes. And in the Bible, it says this. And it says, each with its own language. So if each sub-tribe had their own language, and every sub-tribe had their own language, I mean, they all had different languages, because it says each with their own language, plural, each with their own language. That means more than one language. Then it means that they all were speaking a different language. But then right after that story or chapter, we then have the Tower of Babel. And then it starts off by saying, at that time, there was only one language. Okay, but didn't you just say it was sub-tribes and sub-languages? So how can it be one language when everybody was speaking different languages? So then, I mean, you can look it up, it's in there. But then it gets even stranger. Because, let me go get this Bible. I just want to point it out, because if you have one common language, and then all of a sudden, no, if you have sub languages, then all of a sudden the language becomes one, then you're not talking about language anymore. You're talking about communication. But of course, you can always manipulate the truth by changing the word. So you go, well, since I can say these things, then I'm going to say it, because I can manipulate people with that. And how you manipulate people is to just switch a word. Okay, here it is. It's Genesis, starting Genesis 10, and you can go Genesis 10 all the way through Genesis 10:32. Read it all, because it's going to say, these are the sons. I'm going to give you an example. These are the sons of Ham, which was Mizraim, Put, Canaan, Sheba, Seba, Sabath, Ramah. Now, these are the different tribes, okay? And it says, these are the sons of Ham by their clans and languages in their territories and nations. So languages is plural, meaning they have multi-language. And it says it for all the tribes: Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Languages, plural. Now, we go into Genesis 11, where they talk about the Tower of Babel. And then now remember, Languages. Languages. That means plural. Maybe everybody's speaking different. It says, now the whole world had one language and a common speech. Hold on. If you looked at here, it says each of them had their own languages. But then it gets stranger, because then it goes, as they started to build, who knows what they were building, but let's just say build. Then all of a sudden it says, but the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, and the men were building, and the Lord said, if as one people speaking the same language, as if, it said, if as, all you gotta do is switch it, the same thing, they just play with words. If as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. So if you're God, and please don't be ignorant. It's here. If you're God, you're not going to get mad because you're saying as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Shouldn't you want that? Shouldn't you want that nothing that they plan to do should be impossible for them? Because you want to see them grow. But no. Control. Here we go. Come, let us go down and confuse their languages so they will not understand each other. That's it. I ain't going no further. Now listen. If that right there is a turnoff, because if you're God, you're not gonna say, damn, it look like they can just achieve things. Nothing will be impossible for them. They can achieve. Then all of a sudden, I think we're going to go down there and confuse their languages. Okay, now let's get back. Let's break this down. It's not languages he's talking about. It's communication. Because look at today. We have different languages. It's not because of that. Because they already said it when you read through Genesis 10, all the way through 10:32, it says they all had their own languages. So they already had their own languages. So how can you turn around and say, let's confuse their languages so they can't understand each other, when they already had their own languages? It just said it. It said each tribe had their own languages, territories, and languages. Languages meaning plural. Language, they all had their own. Then you turn around and then you say, it was only one language then. So then you're not talking about language. That's when I talk about you can get the lie out of the truth. See, when you know instinctively inside of you, you gotta look at that and go, they're not talking about, when they got to chapter 11, when they were talking about verse 11, Genesis 11, Tower of Babel, they weren't talking about talking. They were talking about communication. Just like today, it's different languages, but we all have one common communication. We communicate. And if you're communicating very well, and you're getting along very well, and they say, come on, let's build this together, because that's all it is, metaphoric. Let's build this together. Then someone comes and say, hey, wait a minute, look, if they building it, hey, yo, they do this together, then there ain't nothing that they won't be able to accomplish. Let's just go fuck that up. Now, all I'm saying is you can be a fool if you want, and that's why I believe in the lie from the truth theory. The truth of the matter is that basically it's a dictatorship. It's not a God. It's a dictator. It's a control freak. Because if people are getting to a level of greatness and then there's nothing too impossible that they can't do, that they can't accomplish, then you would want to be happy for that. Just like you got haters nowadays, people progress, do whatever they do and stuff. And then somebody go, man, you know what? It's just like, man, matter of fact, let's give an example of the black race. We come from kings and queens, but we fail. We failed because I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was greed or something that came in between that, some stupidity. As we start to build ourselves up each and every time, the haters sit back and go, hold on. They look like they getting along. Let's go put something in between that shit so they don't get along. Don't that sound familiar? Don't that sound familiar? Like Black Wall Street, when the black people was just getting it back in the 20s. The best time we ever had as a race, ever. And, I mean, as far as what we know. Because, of course, the other history has been shrouded in bullshit mystery because they don't want us to know it. But anyway, let's go back to Black Wall Street. Now, in the 1920s and shit, and stuff like that. When in Oklahoma, they did their thing, black people, lawyers, doctors, successful businesses making money doing this, banks got their own airport, all this shit. Then the white people looking and they going, wait a minute, they look like they doing shit and they look like they, building together. Let's destroy it. Let's destroy it. Okay, let's bomb it. Let's destroy Black Wall Street. So when you think about Black Wall Street, and then you think about the Tower of Babel incident, then don't that sound familiar? I mean, it's just, but anyway, you don't want to use common sense because people using emotion instead of logic. They're getting on. Don't do that. Use this. Don't use it to your emotions. Well, God said, man, you've been told that shit, motherfucker. You ain't come out the coochie knowing that. So come on, man. Now use common sense once you'll be able to process it. My goodness, man. Stop all of that. But anyway, so without the truth, you can't get a lie. So say, for instance, the black race. We're the truth. We're everything. Of course, we're the template for other races. That's what I do know, and it's scientifically proven. And also the woman was here first, or a woman type of entity was here first. Feminine entity was here first. Well, if you look at the woman and how she was been degraded in the Bible as being the one, the cause of the problems and all of this shit, because she decided to talk to somebody with some sense and say, hey, y'all being played, motherfucker playing you. They don't want you to know nothing. They won't want you to walk around and don't know the knowledge of good and evil. So you wouldn't know what's good or what's evil. You would just be getting done, because if the person above you or acts like God says, you don't need to know knowledge of good and evil, because if I do something bad to you, you won't know the difference. If I do something good to you, well, shit, you might not know. So I might not ever do nothing good for you. So at the same time, not knowing the difference between the two could easily get you manipulated, especially when you are in a duality world, when you come into a world where everything is two, light, dark, right, wrong, and all of this. But for you to distinguish right and wrong should be up to you. And that's been dictated. So when people want to use all types of excuses for what's right and from what's true or not, you got to understand that without the lie, it can't be the truth. I mean, without the truth, there can't be a lie. Without the truth, there can't be a lie. So it has to be that that the woman was the truest. She was the beginning. But in the Bible, Adam was the beginning, which they made Adam, it's just so crazy. It's really atom, like the atom. But then they made it relegated it to a man, a male thing. So then the woman again is put on the back burner. Then, of course, Eve, she's done that again. So she did that. So then she's put on the back burner. When they had children, they had all boys. It was just unfeminine, like feminine nothing. So, of course, that means the woman was first. That means they can only mean, and there's so many other reasons why the woman was first, but you can only get a lie out of the truth. Just like black people, we was here first. But all on TV, it looked like white people was running it, and that they were running everything, and that they were the gladiators, and they were the greatness, and all of that. How would you know what greatness was if you didn't see greatness? How would you know what greatness is or was if you didn't see it? Because you wouldn't know what greatness was when you never was great. You only became great because someone else was great first. So if someone else was great first, that's the truth. But then you can manipulate the media and the communication centers and make these movies and go, well, black people just been slaves because of a time period. You want to use that same message from a particular time period to make us look like we were just slaves. That is a lie from the truth. Because then without us actually being great, then you couldn't lie about it. You can only do the opposite, which would make, if we was never great, then we would have to be all of a sudden the shit. So in order for you to make everything wrong right, or everything that was original and unoriginal, you have to lie about it. And in order to get the lie, you have to get it from the truth. Because it's almost like if somebody says, okay, I created that car, or I made this car, or I made this bracelet. But someone else comes along and they take the bracelet before it's commonly known, or the car idea of it, and they come out with it, then they can say they did it and destroy all evidence that you could have ever done it, especially if you're in copyrighted or put a patent on it. So then now they can say they did that. But the truth is that it's yours. The truth is it's your creation. The truth that it was this. But to lie is to derive the energy source, which is the truth. So to pull from the truth, you create a lie. Because a lie will not be able to exist without the truth. A lie would not be able to exist without the truth. Because if there was no truth, then how can you lie to somebody? It's always, that's what it is. So sometimes you got to look at a lie and reverse it. Sometimes you got to look at what people are pumping into your face every single day as the truth and flip that shit around. Sometimes you got to look at it, because if they keep doing it, then you got to be like, man, why is this always on TV? Maybe it's the opposite of that. Why is that always showing to me? Maybe that's the opposite of that. Because when you look at the opposite of it, then you might see the truth. But when you look at it for what it is, you're going to accept it as truth. But it's going to be a lie. Because like I said again, you can't get grapefruit juice without the grapefruit. And I'm talking about pure grapefruit juice, not artificial grapefruit juice. And it wouldn't be artificial grapefruit juice if it wasn't for grapefruit in the first place. So that's a lie. So this is what I'm saying. You can't get lemon juice from lemons unless you have the lemon first, right? You have to have the lemon first, right? Fresh squeezed lemons. But you can't even get powdered artificial lemon juice without the idea that the fact that that lemon, the real thing, which is the truth, produces lemon juice. So the fact of the matter is, when you're looking in certain books, and I'm not going to keep mentioning religious books because I want you to figure that one out, then you got to understand where they get that from. Where they get that from? Where they get that from? Now, can they really be making up all of this, or could they have been taking it from something else and then transposing it the way they want you to get it? Well, it's always been that way. Because if someone is deceptive and they want to lie to you, they have to pull the truth, dissect it, regurgitate it out to you in their version of it, which can be a complete lie. Peace and love, baby. Without the lie, it can't be the truth. Without the truth, there can't be a lie. Damn, I keep saying that. I'm sorry. But without the truth, there can't be a lie. It's just plain and simple, folks. Without the truth, sorry, a lie has no weight. But it has plenty weight when it takes the truth. Because sometimes the truth can seem like, okay, this is how you can do it. You can take something that appears to be commonsensical, twist it, and then it sounds like that sounds about right. See, there comes a belief factor. And like I said, belief is like shooting craps. So you can hit or miss. Like if you go into a city and you go into a block and you ride around and you ain't never been there and there's somebody that just moved there a month ago and then you pull up to them, you don't know they just moved there a month ago, but you pull up to them and you say, "Excuse me, do you know where Walmart is?" Now they probably saw Walmart but ain't been yet. They're like, "Well, I'm kind of new around here, but I believe it's two lefts and a right up street, right?" So you go and you get thrown off. Yeah, how does this? Because that person said. Now remember, now the key word. I believe it's over there. No, if they know, they say, "You know what? It's over there," because they know where it is. So it's a difference between believing and knowing, and it's different between a truth and a lie. But see, a lie can exist without the truth, and a belief can't exist without the knowing. So if someone knows, then you better believe there's someone else that's going to believe. It's a total difference. But remember, you can't get the lie without the truth.